Hello, everybody. With us today is Mehdi Medjaoui, organizer of API Days. Over 10 years of API conferences. Congrats, Mehdi. That's quite a feat. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thank you, Eric, for having me. And yes, 10 years of API's conferences.
Yeah, and one of the things that you always had, but that I think now we will make a little bit more formal or explicit, so to speak, is coverage of OAI things. So Open API Specification Initiative. It's a standards organization which has been present at API Days, but going forward, the plan is to make that a little bit more regular, a little bit more formal. Can you tell us a little bit more about those plans, Mehdi?
Yes, for sure. So yeah, since the creation of the, let's say, OpenAPI initiative and OpenAPI specification, and even before we had like starting API specifications at API's conferences, we've seen many of these creators of this specification or users of this specification or contributors proposing talks and coming at the event. But over and over, we had more and more. So much that last year we have been able even to make a track just on API specifications. And yes, but it was coming from many sides, many different speakers, many different organizations. And so, yeah, we were waiting for someone to really, who believes in standards, who wants to promote standards, to really help us to organize and govern a full track that will be completely, let's say, chaired by someone who truly believes in it and can organize and orchestrate all of this. That is you, Eric. And so, yes, we're really glad to include a full OAI track into all the EPRS conferences where it's possible, for at least the main ones. And we will try to do smaller segments or half days for the smaller events.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this, and I'm really excited also, that we get to collaborate on this. But also, I think that you know very well, right? I'm really kind of a standards person. I do believe that standards are absolutely fundamental, in particular in something like APIs, right, where it's all about interoperability. And I do remember the track that you talked about, which was in Paris, which that was a full day, right? That was just on OAI topics.
That was almost a full day after the keynotes, right? So it was a end of the morning and afternoon. But yes, and in these topics, we gathered, of course, API specification builders, like official people from the technical committee or the board members. We also had end users, so people using the spec internally to do contract-driven API development or testing or monitoring or whatever. We have also tooling providers. They're important because they, in their way, promote the spec and include that into their product to help people go from what I call API craft to API engineering. Going to at scale, right? And also we had like standard organization like IATA or Open Geospatial Consortium or other organization that wants to standardize APIs, not just in a company, but in a whole ecosystem, in a whole industry. And glad they use OpenAPI specification as the standard to discuss around API design and the full standardization that comes on top. So gathering these producers, builders, these tool providers, these end users, and these standard organizations. Yes, I think this is a good challenge to continue for OAI track at API's conferences.
Yeah, I'm thinking, that we will only see more and more activity in that space. And IATA actually is an interesting example, right? Where you hinted at this idea of, well, there's HTTP, and then there's kind of OAI on top of that, or OpenAPI on top of that, and then there's other standards organization layering on top of that. And I think that that layering mechanism is something that we will see more and more. And the more I think we start also having forums where you can discuss this, people will start seeing this pattern more, understanding this pattern more, and that will help us to raise awareness. And as you pointed out, yeah, go.
No, sorry. That will be also important to gather the community members. Like the people at the board or technical committee. They of course they want to talk to contributors, talk to users. In person. Like having exchanging or discussions about what's going on, to feel the vibe, to get also new members. OAI is always looking for new members and supporters. So yeah, that will be this in-person moments. We have 8 APIs conferences a year, so that will be 8 opportunities in 8 different locations for people who truly believe in specification in APIs and who believe in the OpenAPI initiative to together discuss, mix and mingle, and work together.
Yeah. I see a lot of travel ahead of me, but that's fine. I love it. But I mean, as you said, right? I mean, our goal definitely is that we will try to establish that as a regular thing at every API Days conference. I think we'll have to find our rhythm and see, you know, how much time we will spend. I'm guessing that API Days Paris probably will remain that big place where we can get the most people and the biggest set of contributors, but we'll see how it goes. But so tell us a little bit about the upcoming events, and we'll talk more, or I'll talk more about the specific events in the very near future, but tell us a little bit more about the upcoming events where we will start doing this, which locations they are, and when they are.
So for the next 3 events where we will be doing that are API Days London. So it will be the 13th and 14th of September, and we will begin to have an OAI track at this event. We will have then an event the month after in Melbourne, so other side of the planet, 11th and 12th of October. Which is a lot more corporate event because it's organized by Deloitte there and their platform engineering team. So many large organizations there. And then to the mother event, the Godzilla of events in the API space, which is API Days Paris, which will be 6th, 7th, and 8th of December, where we will have a full day for sure on everything about OpenAPI specifications. And again, as we said, from the builder, the user, the tool providers, and the standard organizations.
Okay, great. So I think we have a great time ahead of us. So London, Melbourne, Paris, Godzilla. I like Godzilla. Maybe I'll start referring to it as Godzilla from now on. And as I said, I will post a little bit more information once we have like our first web pages up. For now, I just wanted to let everybody know what's happening, that this is something that you can expect at API Days at the next 3 events. And this is all I think we have to share for now. Thanks a lot for joining, Mehdi.
Thanks, Eric, for having me.
And with that, we're done for today. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Keep an eye on the space. I hope that we'll have something up and running very soon. I'll make sure that everybody gets notified about this. And that's it for today. Thanks. If you find this interesting, please consider sharing it. It's all about standards and contributions. And with that, we're done. Bye until next time.
Bye.